Hello there, welcome, and thank you for remaining with me on this exciting journey. So today I consider this video as the first official video I'm making on this channel because other video have been introductory to today. So today let's look at the world of economic success that we all are chasing. The first things that you need to do, right? So almost everybody has that dream to become successful, has that fantasy to be in a world, a perfect world, where you have the best of everything, the best of houses, the best of cars, the best of family, right? Do whatever that you want to do at whenever that you want to do it. Yeah, but sadly, some people may remain in that fantasy world, but this video is all about nudging you to transcend from that fantasy world to reality, you know. So in reality world, I want to tell you that those things that you fantasize about, first of all, they are possible. They are very, very possible. They are very, very achievable, right? But you have to do certain things to be able to, attain that kind of life, right? So the first thing that you need to do is, instead of thinking about it, always, fantasizing about it, you have to really, really make it concrete by putting it on paper. If you look behind me, you see mine boldly written. I look at it every day. It's in everywhere that I am, every space that I am. So when I look at it, it energizes me every day. It gives me that focus. It gives me that feeling of knowing exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. So you need to understand what your life is about, why you want the kind of life that you want, and then how you have to, or you will attain the kind of life that you are pursuing. So you talk about your vision, you talk about your mission, and you talk about your goals, right? So your vision is, like your destination, though in real sense it's not supposed to be a destination, because it's not supposed to be something that you get to and then all of a sudden your life becomes, it's as if like you've achieved everything. When you interview or when you watch interviews about successful people, they keep telling you that they've not even started, because of their vision, because they know that their vision is so higher than where they are today, right? So in as much as you remain contented with where you are, you still have to be in reality with the fact that you have a higher call, you have a higher vision, right? So you're supposed to define what you want your life to be. How do you want your life to end up as? So personally, I have a vision to create a world that transcends me. All right. So when you look at it, it's not all about financial, wealth, tangible wealth, buildings and everything, but the life that I want to impact, this and that, like things that may be intangible but very, very relevant in terms of wealth. So I want to be able to impact a lot of life economically, that I'm living this world with something that has transcended me, something that will keep on touching lives, keep on um, affecting people even when I'm gone. So that is my perfect picture of creating wealth that transcends me. Understand? And then of course there is financial aspect of it, because to do what I want to do, I really need a lot of financial success, a lot of tangible success. You understand? So that aspect, but that is maybe like 10% of it. You understand? So you're supposed to really pin down those things, like make them concrete, bring them together, bring your thoughts together, make them to be understandable to you, that anytime you look at it, you know that you have a perfect picture, you remember, and then it re-energizes you to know that, okay, this is exactly what I'm pursuing, right? This is the kind of life I'm pursuing. This is exactly the reason why I'm doing everything I'm doing today. This is why I'm setting the goals I'm setting today. You understand? So you have the vision. So it's like traveling. You're supposed to have your destination. If you don't know what you're going to, you do not even know the kind of distance transport system you have to take to get there. You don't know the kind of road that you have to take to get there. You do not know how to do many things about how to get there. But when you define where you're going to, every other thing will make sense. Every other thing, will become, possible for you to plan. So your vision is the number one thing. Know what your life is all about. Know what you want out of life. And then we talk about why. Why do you want that kind of life you want? So I spoke about it briefly with my personal vision. The reason why I want to create a world that transcends me is because part of it is because I want to touch a lot of lives. I want to cause economic impact in the world that will keep on, impacting even when I'm gone. That is my mission. That is the mission that I envisage. So you have to know the reason why. And the reason why is what will give you the excitement. Sometimes it's not about, when you are traveling, it's not about, where you're going to. Let's say you're traveling to America. It's not about the fact that you are traveling to America, but because of the things that you plan to do there. The reason why you're traveling to America is what will give you that excitement. So the vision, the mission will give you that excitement every day, when you think about it, what you'll be able to do when you achieve your vision, what you're able to do in line, because your vision is a journey. It is not a destination. We keep on evolving. As you keep getting closer, it will keep on becoming bigger. You understand? So what your life will become as you are going through that journey is the exciting part of it. So, and that is exactly what will give you that needed, we call it intrinsic motivation. No matter whatever any other person may tell you, it's just like 20%, but the intrinsic, the one within you, the motivation that you give yourself is the 80% of why you will wake up every day and keep pushing. Right? So you're supposed to have your mission to keep you grounded, to keep you going. Even on the most difficult day, you remember the reason why you're doing this, and you still keep pushing. Even the days that you don't feel like waking up, you remember the reason why you're doing this, and you just have to. It just excites you, it just energizes you. You understand? Then we talk about your goals. You're supposed to have your goals. I spoke about the fact that your vision is supposed to be very wide, very, daring. It's supposed to, be very daring, but your goal is supposed to be, something that is within you to achieve, that you know that, yes, if I do this A, B, C, D, I'll be able to achieve it. I just have to challenge myself a little bit, you understand, to achieve it. And these are the things I have to do to be able to attain that vision. These are the things that I have to do to get me closer to that vision. And that's your goals. And then your goals are supposed to be SMART. SMART is acronym for SMART. So we talk about your goals needing to be specific, that is the S. So specific goal is a goal that is defined. For example, you want to save. Non-specific goal would be like, I just want to save this year. But many people say that, and at the end of the day, at the end of the year, they are not able to save anything. But a specific goal would be, I want to save $10,000 this year. And once you're able to define it, you are able to put your plans through together to how would you achieve that. Let's say you set a goal $10,000 to save this year. You start thinking, okay, your earning capacity currently is about $50,000. After your expenses and everything, currently you will be able to really manage to save about, let's say, 6,000, 7,000. But you want to save 10,000. So your mind will go to work on how would you get the additional sum. So you start thinking about, okay, how do I cut down on the things that I'm currently spending time on to make it more productive, that will lead to, getting more money and everything. You understand? So that is the challenging aspect of it. So when you make it specific, it becomes more real. So making it specific is just like setting your vision, but this one, like something that you are doing in the immediate. It's just like, for me personally, when I defined my vision, I knew that my first degree cannot suffice for me. Then I knew that, yes, I have to get a mastery of business. You understand? I know that with the kind of vision that I have, I know the kind of businesses that I want to lead. I know the kind of businesses that I want to establish, and those businesses are not what can come by just the basic knowledge. No, I have to have professional knowledge about how businesses operate globally. So it becomes a vision for me, it becomes a goal for me, to get a mastery of business. So it's not about getting any masters, it's about getting mastery of business. So it's specific. I know exactly what course I want, and I know the reasons why I want that course. So it's specific. You understand? So that is the S aspect of it. Then we talk about the M, which is measurable. So your goal, once it's defined, is supposed to be measurable. It's supposed to be able to analyze from time to time how closer am I from attaining my goal. You'll be able to, okay, for example, the one I gave about $10,000. You'll be able to analyze how much have I saved. Let's say from the beginning of the year, we are now in May. How much have I been able to save? Then you will know whether to double up your energy, your effort, to know that, okay, for instance, you've been able to save $2,000 in May, and then is left with, let's say, 8 months thereabouts to the end of, or 7 months to the end of the year. You'll be able to know that I have to make more effort to be able to achieve this goal. So if your goal is not analyzable, if it is not measurable, perhaps it is not achievable. Because at the end of the day, the time will just come all of a sudden and you find out that you've not been able to do anything in line with the goal you set for yourself. So when you are setting goal, make sure that it has measurable aspect of it. Make sure it's something that you can measure. I want to get a degree. Then 2 years down the line, how many courses have you completed? What level are you in? Right? Then we talk about the fact that it's supposed to be achievable or attainable. That is the A. So you cannot set a goal that is too high that when you think about it, you are just demotivated because you know that at the end of the day you are not able to achieve it. So what's the point, right? Then it's not supposed to be too low as well that is not challenging for you. That you know when you think about it, you know that any day that you decide, you just do it. Then because the most important aspect of setting goals is who it makes you to become. It's not about what you achieve. It's just like getting the degree. It's not about the certificate, but it's about the human it makes you to become. It's about the knowledge. It's about, how refined you get in your thinking, everything. It's about how it makes you better capable of a person that can achieve that vision that you've set for yourself than even getting that goal itself. So your goal is supposed to be very challenging, right? It's supposed to challenge you, but at the same time, it's not supposed to be too low. At the same time, it's not supposed to be too high that you know that it's just like waking up tomorrow and say that setting a goal that at the end of this year I want to be richer than Elon Musk. I know that miracle happens and everything, but realistically, you know that it has to follow through patterns and systems for you to arrive at that. Though with innovations and everything, there could be explosion that will catapult you to that height within even a month, undoubtedly, you understand. But the bottom line of what I'm trying to communicate is that you're supposed to set a goal that is challenging, but not too high that you cannot attain it, and not too low that is not challenging to you, right? Then we talk about the R aspect, which is relevance. Your goal is supposed to be relevant to your vision. So when I spoke about vision may be a destination of where you're traveling to. Let's say you're going to Nigeria, for instance. So your goal is supposed to, aid you to take a path that is leading to Nigeria. So it's supposed to be in line with getting to Nigeria at the end of the day. And that is why it is very important to know your vision first before you start the quest of anything that you're doing. Because if you don't know your vision, anything goes, anything works. You accept everything. And at the end of the day, when I set my vision, I already know the kind of deal that I can do, what I can accept and what I cannot accept, because I know where I'm going to. So I know the relevant things that I have to do. So my goals are always relevant to my vision. So if it is not in line with my vision, I'm not doing it. It may look as though it is very, profitable and everything at the surface level of it, but when you really analyze it and everything, you know that it's not relevant. It's not relevant. When it's not relevant, and then there are explosive conversation about education being a scam and everything currently. So when you think about it, you really know that the bottom reason why people are having that argument is because a lot of people who are doing courses or taking degrees that are not in line with what they want, or eventually they've taken this course, or eventually their life have evolved, they're able to set their vision, and then they found out that this thing that I've done is not in line with what I really want out of life. So they start feeling like it's a wasted time. So that is why it's important to do this, and that if you are a younger person watching me, it is very important to really, really know what you want out of life before you take that decision that, okay, this is the course that I want to take. So you just take your time, really think about it. What are the things that excite you? The things that you're thinking about, and what are the things that you are naturally good at? Because that is the thing that you're supposed to have comparative advantage in if you set your vision around there. You understand what comes to you at ease, right? So you set your vision in that line, and you start thinking, you start searching, researching about the courses that are relevant in that line, and that is what will make your study exciting. Every assignment you're doing is not like a punishment, is not like a duty, but you know that it's something like you're excited to do it because it's making you a better person. You're excited about the discovery you're getting, you're making. You're excited, you're just excited about doing it because it's in line, it's relevant. So your goal has to be relevant. So when you set your vision, before you set that goal, you think about it. Is it relevant to my vision at the end of the day? Is it going to take me closer to my vision, or is it going to take me a step back from my vision? Right. Then we talk about the T. That is the fact that your goal is supposed to be time bound. So when you set a goal, it's supposed to have a time limit. So if you don't have a time limit to it, you don't know what you have to do when you need to do it. So, but when it's limited, you know that, okay, like for example, when you know that, okay, I want to save $10,000 like I pointed out before at the end of the year, you know that I have to do this today. I have to do that tomorrow, because I have to achieve this goal at the end of the year. But if it's not time bound, you don't know when you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Right, so I want to leave you at this point. So the next time we'll be talking about the strategies, breaking it down further, the things that you really need to do that will set you apart, that will give you that competitive advantage in your field, in wherever you find yourself in. Thank you so much. Thank you.